Hi, I'm Rebecca Fife. I'm an urban wildlife manager, and I approach the control of urban wildlife with a deep respect for all living creatures and for the environment. I'd like to invite you into the field today where my team is approaching a bird control project. Birds can't be allowed to live in and around the structure of a building because their guano is both acid and basic at once, it damages finishes, and in time it can compromise the structural integrity of the building. Come on and see our technique for creating false ceilings out of cable systems and netting that prevent birds from getting up into the girders and infrastructure.
We're in Naperville today, located directly next to a water source, in this case the east branch of the DuPage River. The river itself is a migratory path for birds, and with this structure in such close proximity to the water, the birds decided to take advantage of the openings on this structure. They also brought a lot of nesting material into that cavity, and they also had a huge flea problem as well as a mite problem. When we got here in the spring, when we were called out for the sparrow problem, we had noticed that they had tried solving the problem previously to our arrival by trying to use bird spike. Unfortunately, the birds that, especially the species that created the larger problem, they're so small that they can actually nest within the spikes. So spikes with sparrows in this case is definitely not a solution, and that's why they were continuing to get the feces build up right above their front door. After seeing and determining that the bird spike was not a feasible way of excluding the sparrows from the structure, we then started going through the options. In this particular case, with all of the openings, netting was the best solution. There was a lot of steps involved in the exclusion of birds on this property. The first and most important was excluding them out of the cavities that they were nesting in. After the birds were excluded from the voided spaces behind the I-beams, then it was time to start doing the netting. With doing netting, it definitely requires engineering as far as drill through points, intermediate attachments, and figuring out all the specifics in order to get the project done properly. It does require a lot of specialty tools. For our drill through attachments, we use what is known as an annular cutter or a mag drill. We use a pneumatic hog ringer to actually ring the netting to the cable itself. Netting will be applied on both the front and the back overhang of this building to prevent sparrows as well as other birds from perching on the ledges of the I-beams as well as nesting behind the I-beams. The reason why we excluded from behind the voided space initially is that we did not want to entrap any of the birds behind the netting once it was installed. By using netting and excluding the entire possibility of the bird perching in those areas where they feel comfortable is absolutely the best route.
Thanks for joining us in the field today. I hope you'll come out with us again on another nuisance wildlife control adventure.